Hey everyone, we'll be starting shortly. I'm getting everything set up before we begin today's stream, so just please bear with me. Okay, posted there. Set up all here. That's good. Everything seems fine. Connection seems good. Yeah, I think we're good to go. So, hi everyone. Welcome to a new stream for this week. Hope everyone had a nice weekend, was nice and rested, and is ready for today. So, as is probably evident by the title, we're playing a new game today because we had finished Baldur's Gate last week. I have now managed to buy, or not buy, I have now managed to choose a game that is a continuation of another series that we finished. We are starting the recently released Apollo Justice trilogy of the Ace Attorney series. Now, I'm looking forward to it. To reiterate, when I last played the previous trilogy, this part of the trilogy, or these three games, I know the least about. I have played the first Apollo Justice game, and then I played also Dual Destinies, which is the sequel. However, I have only played the first one once, and the second one I have also played twice. However, because I haven't played them in a while, I don't remember anything except for like one thing from the first one, in that there's a really bad music scene or something in the original. But regardless, hey Rafatron, good to see you. You got here earlier. And hi Sean, yeah, hey. I am doing fine. He's the only main character of one game, and even in this one, he gets overshadowed. Yeah, I was gonna say is that even though the trilogy is called Apollo Justice, he is only the main character for the first game. The second game, it's a different person, and I'm not sure about the third game. I think the third game goes back to Phoenix, but I'm not sure. But yeah, I'm excited. I think we just get straight into it. I need to get the thing set up anyway, so while I'm waiting and talking and all that, I can get started. So let's begin. Get everything set up. I can also get rid of this now, so remove. So to put my thoughts about the first game, or the first one in the trilogy we're gonna have to play, it's okay. Like I didn't hate it before, but I do think it is weaker than the previous trilogy, or at least the previous three games before it. But we'll see if they made any changes. I don't know if they've managed to make the game better or update it so then it works better, but we'll see. Also, another caveat: this game finally has borderless windowed mode, so yay! I don't have to use a friggin' mod for it, so woo! The first case is considered the best one, but the rest of it isn't. That's just great. You can't see anything right now because I am currently setting everything up, so bear with me. At least you can hear it. Ah, it's so big. There we go. All right, cool. I think it's showing up on there. Ooh, I like this guitar. Ooh. All right. I will turn the music down just a smidge. There we go. I think I've already gone through all these. Let me just check. Subtitles are on. Screen flashes. I've turned vibration off because I'm not using a controller. So fine. This is probably fine. Vertical sync and anti-aliasing is probably fine because it doesn't have much to show anyway. That's all fine. Reader. Turn this on to enable story mode in place of autoplay, allowing you to progress through the game automatically without having to press any buttons. What? No, I want to play the game. I don't want the game to play itself. What? Right. Dual Destinies is great. Yeah, I actually, out of the two that I've played of this one, Dual Destinies I think is one of my favorite ones out of it. DLC cases, I'm still doing SOG DLC. Been a long time since I played it, so let's see. Yeah! Alright, so here we go! I'm excited! Alright, game selection. Whoa. Oh, you're just automatically putting me in here. It's actually changed. It's different from the first one doing this. I can set the background music. Oh, this is cool. New game. Turnabout Trump. I almost read that as turnip. We're going to have to bring the voices back again, so be prepared for that. I'm going to have to try and remember it. Ooh. Card game. Spider. Showdown time. Can't recall who these people are, so I'm not going to give them voices until I know. You lose. Ugh. Eek. They got killed by a wine bottle. Ooh, that animation though. Seem to be in a bit of trouble. Something like that. Dead. Someone hit him hard. Me? Please. The cops should be here any minute. I'm in your hands, should it come to that. I think you only need 2KR3 for this one. Honestly, love this opening. No, it's grape juice because we can't imply he drinks. Screw that. I'm making it wine. Oh, was this like this before? I remember it not being very discernible in the previous trilogy. Okay, it's just a picture of the judge. That seems kind of April 20th, 9:37 a.m. District Court. Defendant lobby number 3. We're back here again. Yay. Oh, they've changed the UI. I like it. Okay, so I need to try and think of a good voice for Apollo. I don't know if I should just stick with my normal voice because he's one of the main characters. I guess I can do it for now. I might give him like a sort of kicky vibe or whatever. Panicked, palm sweaty. I can admit it. I'm nervous. I don't know who this is, so good morning. Oh, hey, I remember you. Good morning, sir. I don't know why I get a German feeling from this guy, so I was going to give him like a German accent if I can. It's a different image. It was all reworked. Oh, cool. You look tense, Justice. Wound up tight. Wound up, sir? No. I'm loose. I'm fine. But that screeching noise, it is your voice, I suppose. It's to be expected. Your first trial, and it's a homicide. Guess justice doesn't start small, eh? I'm fine. I got up at 5 a.m. to do my Cords of Steel voice workout. I'm fine. Ah, that explains it. I did detect a certain rasping quality to your speech. He's not German. Fine. I won't do German then, just because I'm bad at it. Nervous Shrek, that's Apollo's Justice voice should be. Also, Geeky ain't bad idea because of how much he goes the fanboy. Okay, good point. You should also be able to check history. Yeah, history here. Oh, we did it again. Also, Gavin's in the localization are German. Oh, okay. I'll just stick with the German accent. It's better than just making him sound like something else. What is that? As you know, your client today is a good friend of mine. I wouldn't want to let him down, if you get my drift. Drift gotten, sir. I'm all over that drift. As it happens, I dined with him the night of the murder. We can't let this case fall through. Yes, I'm fine, sir. Why does he keep saying that? Oh, one more thing. Don't say you're fine quite so much. People might take you the wrong way. I guess that's the savings symbol. I'll be preparing our case. You might want to introduce yourself to the client. My name is Apollo Justice. If it isn't clear already, I'm a new attorney. Today is my first trial. Not that I'm worried or anything. The defendant has been accused of murder. My boss wants me to help him out, of course, and so do I. I mean, there's no way he did it. Not him. No way. No way. No how, no way. Whoa. Good, morning. I know who this is, but I don't want to spoil it. Although some people in chat already are. Morning, it's all up to you today. First trial, nervous. Meeting him, cardiac arrest. I think I'm supposed to say something? Help? So you're... Fine, I'm fine. Ah, Mr. Fine, is it? I didn't remember you having an odd name. It's fine, Sean. I was only pulling your leg. It's kind of obvious who it is, but... I remember when this game came out and, like, people were like, what the hell happened to Phoenix? Well, we're off to a great start. Are you sure you're okay, I mean, with me? Mr. Gavin is a top-notch defense attorney, and he's your friend. So why... You'll see. You can do it. Be confident. I'm really sorry this happened to you. I mean, it's time. Shall we? Yes, sir. Okay. Need to focus. First trial. Here comes justice. April 20th, 10 a.m. District Court. Courtroom number 2. Oh, wow. They really upped the quality on these models. Jeez. I think I did his voice normal, if I remember correctly. I just did it maybe slightly different, like a bit deeper, but not too much. The court is now in session. Oh, God, not you. The prosecution is ready, Your Honor. The defense is, fine. I'm ready, Your Honor. I mean... Mind going blank. Don't panic. Too late. Your name was Mr. Justice? Seems the cost of Maya's eating habits have caught up to right. True. And this is your first trial? Yes, Your Honor. But I'm fine, really. Are you quite sure? Your voice sounds a bit strained. This is just an up-res of the 3DS version. Yeah, but I mean when we... Wait, they did the 3DS version? I remember the original was on just normal DS, but I might be misremembering. But regardless, it looks a lot better than the first 3. Mr. Gavin? Yes, Your Honor. I was under the impression that you would be handling this case. Or heading up this case. That was my intention, yes. However, a defense attorney must always accede to his client's wishes. And my client specifically requested Mr. Justice. Well, of course he wants justice. But to entrust his case to this greenhorn, why? I do not exaggerate when I say that you're the best defense attorney in town, Mr. Gavin. It was re-released on 3DS with a complete visual overhaul. I did not know that. Wow, okay. So I'm doubly out of my depth here, because I played the DS version. Okay, so Gavin's got trial experience, fine. But does he have the cords of steel? Then let's begin. The defendant may enter the courtroom. I like his little necklace thing. I mean, to be honest, his whole design in this is really cool. His neck is so freaking muscled. This is truly an unfortunate turn of events. I'm sorry we had to meet again under these circumstances. Long time no see, Mr. Wright. Let's put the past behind us, shall we? These days, I'm merely Phoenix Wright, piano player. You can play the piano? I forgot about that. Mr. Wright, how could this have happened? I won't speak of it further, then. If the prosecution would be so kind as to explain the charges, Mr. Payne. To think I saw you enter a room as a fresh attorney, and now I see you leave in chains. Ah, Winston Payne, subtle as ever, I see. The crime occurred at Borscht Ball Club, a Russian restaurant. The defendant, Phoenix Wright, took the victim, a customer, and he hit him. Wham! On the head. Smack! Killed him cold. Customer at the restaurant, you say? And the defendant, you say he was a pianist from the club, it seems. Phoenix Wright, a pianist? Or is it pianist? Whatever. I suppose Wright didn't have anything else to do but work out. Yeah, true. This is the victim that took the black victim's life. This is the weapon, not the victim. I've had a bad day. You know, a bottle of grape juice. Because we didn't want to get it identified as wine. And it's in a wine bottle. Grape juice is apparently the defendant's drink of choice. Court accepts the deadly bottle as evidence. Ooh, I like this. It's like a wallet. Deadly bottle added to the court record. There's something to note, Justice. All evidence is found in the court record. Make a practice of checking it frequently. Court record. Right. I've heard of that. Attorney's badge. How long did I yearn for one of these? Just putting it on makes me feel ready. Oh man, they made the 3D thing? Who's here? Canonically has severe back issues. The time of death was around 2 a.m., April 17th. Death caused by single blow to forehead. Victim's name, Shadi Smith, age unknown. Male, 145 and 215. Cause of death, cerebral hemorrhaging resulting from blunt forehead trauma. Sub-basement in the Borscht Club. Why is he dressing like a gangster? Those are some giant poker chips, Jesus. You can kill Godge by sneezing on him. Wow. That looks like a 2 of hearts. Although that would make sense. Then he has another one. And then this person has an ace. Another ace. What looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, a 7 of hearts. And what looks like maybe a 4 there. This is open. Cracked walls. Okay. Grape juice bottle used as the murder weapon bears the defendant's Mr. Wright's fingerprints. Now, how do you rotate? Ooh. Grape juice. How long has it been since I drank grape juice? Apparently, it's Mr. Wright's favorite drink. Wonder how he goes. Well, it goes with borscht. Ooh. What am I clicking on? The bottle is completely empty. Use E to look at the evidence so far. I'm confident in your ability to handle this. Right, just use E. Sounds like it's time for some hands-on action. Already done it, so... I remember this taking place on my birthday. Did they change when it happened? Maybe? It would be a weird thing to change if they did change it. So the victim was a customer of this restaurant. But just who is this, Shoddy Smith fellow? I believe he was a traveler, Your Honor. A traveler? According to his passport, he had been out of the country for a number of years. He'd only just returned to the country recently, though the place of residence is unclear. And he had some sort of connection with the defendant? That, too, is unclear at present, Your Honor. I believe this first met at the Borscht Club on the night of the crime. If they had only just met, then why murder? Perhaps the victim slighted the defendant's piano playing. Wow, he's asking good questions. What happened to you, Judge? You've grown. That doesn't appear to have been the case. No, the motive had nothing to do with the defendant's lack of playing skill. At least not piano playing. I'll let this photo explain what I mean. Yes, we already looked at it. As we can see, a game of poker was in progress at the scene of the crime. Wait a second. Isn't poker gambling? Oh no! That's a crime in and of itself. How is it a crime? What? It's poker! Huh? Indeed, it appears our defendant has fallen to become the basest sort of criminal.
Objection!
Oh. It is true that the defendant was engaged in a poker with the victim. Yet it was only that, a game in the purest sense. A competition, Your Honor. Competition? Yes, a test of wits. A silent clash of passions. Only the cards, their backs wreathed in blue flame, know the final outcome. Come again? The cards on the table have blue backs, Your Honor. I believe the defense was waxing poetic in an attempt to mystify those present and impress women. That'll be your first order of business here, then. Impress the women! To find out more about this fatal game of cards. Why are you smirking? Very well, defendant. You will testify to the court about the poker competition held the night of the crime. My pleasure. You're slipping into your Francisco voice. Damn! This is it, my first trial. Here goes nothing. The competition. Oh man, I remember this song. Oh, as soon as this song started, I had flashbacks. Jesus. I remember that at one point I got stuck in this game and I heard this song so much on repeat that it got stuck. And now it's back again. I'm a pianist by trade. I can hardly play at all. A real job is to take on interested customers over at the poker table. The room where we play and the competition in there are the club's main attractions. The rules are simple. We play a game of poker using 2 decks of cards. That's all it is, a game, and our customers are happy. I remember the slowed down version. Ugh. Pianist who can't play piano? Better than a defense attorney who can't defend. Oh, what? Shut up, Payne! Trying to burn someone when you suck at your job? Very well. The defense may begin the cross-examination. Right, Your Honor. First cross-examination. Don't blow it. Are you all right? You're sweating like bullets. Bullets? Where? It's a figure of speech, Justice. Your voice sounds strained and raspy, too. My brain feels strained and raspy, sir. You've watched me perform cross-examinations many times. Though you've never done one yourself, have you? Care for a refresher? what to do. Should I ask Mr. Gavin for a refresher in cross-examination? I want to ask because I want to see what he says. Better safe than sorry, especially this early in the game. Yes, teach me. I know nothing. Indeed, your job, Justice, is to be mindful of the court record and the testimony. Look for inconsistencies in the testimony with that court record tells you. And when you found an inconsistency, then when you present... That's when you present the conflicting evidence with the court with E! And he's like, you're talking about... What? I didn't hear anything strange at all in the testimony just now. Good sign that you need to press the witness with Q for more information. Press him? But don't let the fact that he's a remarkable man hold you back. Get more information. But isn't Mr. Wright my client? Well, I think you can do it. Yes, thank you, sir. I think I can do it. I think you better, or we're going to have a problem. Just to remember, find any inconsistencies, any lies in the testimony, and reveal them to the court. This is cross-examination. Learn it, know it, do it. I love this track. Yeah, it's a good song. Payne hasn't won since Mia's second trial. Yeah, pretty much. Inconsistencies. Lies? Phoenix Wright. As if. Phoenix Wright would never lie, and it's up to me to prove it. The defense may begin the cross-examination. Yeah, we're back in, baby. Ooh, so clean. Competition. Press. Oh. You can hardly play. Oh, I play sometimes when the customer demands it. So I play them one song, and that's usually all they want. Was that supposed to be a boast just now? The title of pianist is a mask, a respectable face I wear for the world at large. And then why are you really at the Bosch Ball Club?
Hold it!
Do they pay you just to play poker? That would seem to be the case. I am a professional after all. Do I detect pride in that statement? It's just hard for an honest, hard-working member of society like me to imagine. Yes, your imagination has always been a bit limited, Winston. Your Phoenix has grown a backbone. More than before. Ooh, what? I played poker for 7 years in that little room. And I've never lost once. I mean, yes, because you're good at bluffing. I've literally been you. I know how you work. You make stuff up on the fly. It's like, I have 2 cards of Uno. Or something. And they're like, what? What? You see where the customer comes now? Defeat the undefeated poker champion. It's quite a draw. That is, I'm quite a draw. Wait, you've never lost once? Not even one time? As I said, I'm a professional. Just played poker for 7 years and not lost once? Is that even possible?
Hold it!
The room is the crime scene photo is an attraction? It has quite a history, actually. The Bosch Ball Club used to be a gathering spot for black market types back in the day. Black market? All in the past, things like the black marker are only on the silver screen nowadays. Suffice to say, there were a lot of deals being made under the table. Ask one cup, yeah. Right there in that room. Smoky room, gambling hoods. You know, just looking at this picture makes me feel bad. The bosses gather around the table cutting deals safe from the eyes of the law. Meanwhile, a goon keeps watch through the small window. You can practically picture it now. That window does look like it'd be a good spot for keeping a lookout, but little else. The room had a few other tricks to it, though it was a common knowledge to our regulars. At any rate, they come to play poker in the room steeped in history. Despite the dark past, it's all just good, clean fun. Okay, I can't seem to skip the text. I know in the previous trilogy I could click and it would make the text quickly fill rather than it do it bit by bit. It's not a huge issue because it's doing it a lot faster, but still.
Hold it!
2 decks of cards. A simple measure to prevent cheating. If you alternate 2 decks, no one can slip in cards. Something else I noticed. In addition to the cards on the table, there are some lying scattered on the floor. Precisely. Cards on the table, cards on the floor. Each one forming a complete deck. A crime scene painted blue by a sad sweep of cards. Surprised you haven't noticed the objection in that photo. I haven't really looked at it properly just yet, so... Incidentally, we used 2 types of cards in the club. One deck of cards was red, the other was blue. As I recall, in poker you make 5-card hands. I can see how it would be easy to cheat. Yes, a game of hands. Oh! This competition you're talking about. I believe the court understands the nature of the game sufficiently. That's right! It was a simple game, after all. Are you sure? Huh? People are not murdered over simple games, Mr. Justice. I still can't believe his last name is Justice, so he's called Mr. Justice. It's such a ridiculous name. Defendant, you were in the room the very moment that the crime occurred. Yet you claim no connection to the crime. Now that's strange. What's strange? I was testifying about the competition that night. Asking me about the crime at this point is against the rules, Your Honor. Of course, I expected to hear a cry of objection from the defense. I completely let that one slip by. Don't despair yet, Justice. Sir? Right, there's something I'd like made clear. Namely, your connection to the case at hand. And I'd like to hear it from you. Sure, why not? Very well, the defendant will amend his testimony. Just one little press, and I've got myself a whole new testimony. Complete silence regarding the murder, but I will say I never touched the murder weapon. Well, that's just not true. I know that. But I want to hold it. Silence? The defendant has the right to refuse to testify, which was proven in the previous games. I haven't forgotten everything about the law. But why? That clearly puts you at a disadvantage. Did you know he's realized he's also named after one of the gods that made the Greek legal system, right? Apollo and Athena. Yeah, I get that. It's just, you know, Justice. Apollo is an awesome name. Justice, though. Yeah. And it's your job to turn that around in our favor, yes? Great. Like I didn't have enough to do already. Justice, didn't you detect anything odd about that testimony? Huh? Wait, something he said did ring a little strange. Just one thing. What was it? When you figure it out, I'll suggest presenting evidence. Evidence that contradicts the testimony. A contradiction in Mr. Wright's testimony. But why? I'd better check the court record. His name is perfect for a sick advert. I'm imagining that. It's like, would you like to buy this new drink from Mr. Justice? Soothe your soul with the sweet taste of Mr. Justice's juice. No, that went wrong. Forget about that. Can't imagine Mr. Wright lying in a testimony. Isn't it a little early to be jumping to conclusions? This is your first cross-examination. Take it slow. If you need more information, don't forget to press. Right, I got it. I'm fine. Time to listen to that testimony again. Okay, so that's what it does. Okay, so I have to actually see it first before I can skip the text. Got it. Can always guarantee you'll get justice on my name isn't justice. I've also noticed that it actually shows you how many parts of the testimony there is still. That's great. I like that addition. Sure. But yes, we know you've got your fingerprints on this, so present there. Oh god, that was loud. There's an assassin called Dick Killer, and justice is where you draw the line. Look, Dick Killer's a cool name, okay? So you say you didn't touch the murder weapon, this grape juice bottle, right? So I said. Something the matter, Mr. Justice? Just call him Apollo. Oh my god. Too bad our new defense attorney never learned how to play dumb. What's this, Mr. Payne? I examined the bottle in question, you see. It is covered with the defendant's fingerprints. Objection! No need to shout, Mr. Justice. I can hear you just fine. Excessive yelling can damage this judge's ears and our case. But what about my cords of steel? Anyway, what's so strange about fingerprints on a bottle in the restaurant? Well, that's true. The prints alone don't... Well, they wouldn't prove a thing if it were normal fingerprints. Huh? But the fingerprints in the murder weapon, I can't read, were upside down. Upside down? What does that mean? It means he was just holding the bottle inverted. There can only be one reason for that. Yes! Your brain, someone with the bottle! I didn't notice it until just now when he does his hair flick, but he grew out this freaking, the rim of his hair. He looks ridiculous. I didn't actually look at him properly. I just went, oh, it's Payne, and then I moved on. But now I'm looking at him. Mr. Gavin, I think things took a turn for the worse. Oh? I see no problem, Justice. Huh? The only thing that matters is the truth. There's a good reason for everything, you'll see. Defendant, can you explain your fingerprints on this bottle to the court? I stand by my plea of silence regarding the murder. For now. Not very cooperative, are you? This could hurt your case. I'm sure he's uncooperative because he's hiding something. There must be some reason.
Objection!
Your Honor, you seem to have forgotten something. And what might that be, Mr. Gavin? That you are a fool! At least the hair didn't get sound effects like in the anime. They added sound effects to it? Oh. That would be annoying if they kept doing it. Oh, excuse me. On the night of the crime, who was it that reported the murder to the police? Reported? Oh, well, that was the defendant, Mr. Wrights, but still, that... Really? Yes, well, according to the case file, the murder was reported from the near the scene by a call from the defendant's cell phone. Near the scene? Let's take a look at the diagram of the murder scene, shall we? Look how long he is. It's like he's got no neck. He's just on his chest. The victim was murdered in a small room in the basement, 2 floors down from ground level. Of course, cell phones can't get reception so far down. The defendant used the chair in his hallway, or the stairs in the hallway, to go above ground. The call came from the first floor of the restaurant. I see. And this is the phone that made the call. Is that his old phone still? Wow. I forget that my client can't be guilty because he's always right. Right, cell phone added. Used by the defendant to notify the police from the restaurant's first floor. The defendants have just fled the scene of the crime if he so chose. Yet he fulfilled his duty as a citizen and reported to the authorities. Would you claim he is being uncooperative? Nice save, Mr. Gavin. Better not waste this. I think the prosecution has toyed with our client enough for the time being. Toyed? I assure you, no one is more serious about... What was it you said? The defendant was in the room the very moment the crime occurred. How can you possibly know this? That's a good question. How indeed? The answer is simple, Your Honor. The prosecution has the decisive witness. You're as good as they say you are. So someone else was in the room that night of the crime? That must mean they witnessed the crime. Maya is different too. Okay. I haven't played the newest game, so I don't know anything about that. So no spoilers. Everything up until now has been a warm-up, Justice. Are you ready? As ready as I can be. Very well. The prosecution may call its first witness to the stand. Hello. The witness will state her name and profession. Hold on just a moment. Where's the witness? I suppose that she is being frightened by the defense's demonic-looking horns. Oh, the phone. Right. Okay. So I used a little hair gel. Relax, people. Have no fear. If any horns point in your direction, this court will cut them off. I am assuming that because it says borscht, she has to have like a Russian accent. So I don't know how to do Russian. I'll try. You're sure? I swear it on my gavel. Please, come out. Isn't violence against hair a crime, Your Honor? Well, if you're sure it is, okay. He's got a skinny little arm. Now, wait a minute. Would the prosecution care to explain the witness's, paraphernalia? Yes. She is a professional, Your Honor. Those are merely the tools of her trade. And that would be... Talk like you're drunk? I mean, I guess I could. My name is Olga Orly. I'm employed as waitress. Oh, actually, she actually has an accent. Okay. I'm employed as waitress in Borscht restaurant. Then why the camera? Of course, it is my pride to serve borscht at this naming restaurant. But I also perform, how is it said, other service. Da! Like Russian in a Cold War era show. Yeah. I take it one of these other services is taking customer pictures. Da! See? She even so goes da! I was right! Like, for example, this one. That's the defendant. Indeed. On the night of the murder. The man in white hat is one who gone kaput. Alright, the way the judge looks with those white eyes open, unnerving to me. Indeed. That is the victim. Order. It is quite a piece of evidence to casually drop into our laps. It is same way as I drop cold bowls of borscht on laps of customers. Casually. Da? And the court will casually accept this new evidence. Casually accept. How do you casually accept that? It's like, thanks. Yes. The defendant and Mr. Smith at the Borscht Bowl Club. Olga's photo added. Now, witness, where were you at the time of the murder? I was in the room. The hideout, we call it. Excuse me? The hideout? It is room where famous gangster bad guy was arrested. Really? Bad guy? His room where murder took place. What? You look at a surprise. It is lovely. I will post my courtroom later for you. Photos will be numbered and you will write which ones you want copy of, yes? So, there were 3 people in the room at the time of the crime. The victim, Shari Smith, Mr. Wright, and Olga Orly. Oh, witness. I'm trying to think what her name is supposed to be a pseudonym for. Dead man. And if Mr. Wright isn't the killer, that means... Very well, witness. You will testify to the court about the night's events. Is she cold? Wearing a full freaking wool cloak. That night, customer asked me to deal cards for a game. It was cold. Both players played with hats on. Da. But the victim, he plays whole time with his hands lock it on his neck. And then last hand is done. But something terrible has happened, She'll literally tell, yeah. And that man flew at victim and is strangling him to death. But that is untrue. Because we knew he was hit by the bottle. Incidentally, who won the game? Isn't it obvious? The winner was the victim, Mr. Smith.
Objection!
That's ridiculous. Because Mr. Right can't lose. Justice. Maybe you can come up with a more legitimate objection. But he hadn't lost in 7 years. Take it from me, kid. It happens. I didn't lose a case my first 7 years as prosecutor either. Incidentally, I have some evidence here. These cards are the poker chips as they lay the very moment of the crime. The hand and chips on this side belong to the defendant, Mr. Wright. So he has 3 sevens, an ace, and an ace. So he has a 2 ace high. Whereas he has 3 kings and 2 aces. Well then. Wait, but when he was killed, he hadn't revealed the cards yet. He only showed these 2. Those on the far side belong to this victim, Mr. Smith. Chips, you say? I mean, yes. Imagine the poker is war. Your hand is in your army, and the chips are the spoils. I know that. After all, in my youth, I was known as the poker head of the courtroom number 3. I think he means poker face. Looking at this picture, it does seem that most of the chips are on the victim's side of the table. Very well, the defense may cross-examine the witness. Use what they told you, not previous knowledge. Don't tell me what to do! I'll do what I want. I'm going to use everything that I used in the past. Hey, what is relevant now is, remember when Maya killed someone? That's going to help us in this case.
Hold it!
You were dealing cards. Do you do this often? I'm doing this. If customer wishes it, I serve anything. Borscht cards, more borscht. It is my work. It's good to hear a place that hasn't forgotten the meaning of service. Welcome to you to Borscht Club, where his borscht is warm as the is as warm as the waitress. There we go. All of the times? I don't know. Mia's been implicated in multiple murders at this point. Might as well just say her next victim. Thank you for not handing out flyers during the cross-examination.
Hold it!
It's already April. How could it be cold? At Borscht Club, we have pride on authentic rustic Russian-themed restaurant. Outside it is hitting in spring, but inside it is always as cold as Mother Russia. No way am I going there. When it comes to hot borscht, cold is best seasoning, da?
Hold it!
His locket? I believe it was good luck charm, da? He gripped it many times as he played that night. Yes, he must have felt as though it might carry him to the moon and the stars. Though if it was small enough to fit around his neck, it wouldn't have had much lift. The defense would like a clarification. This is a locket we're talking about? I mean, a pendant with a picture in it, right? Not a rocket? Of course, I knew that. It was probably a pendant shaped like a rocket. That's why she called it that. No, a locket's a locket. It doesn't matter what shape it is. It's considered bad form to poke fun at the hard of hearing in our society. Hard of hearing or hard of understanding? So, what happened next? Oh, I don't know what happened there.
Hold it!
Something terrible? Eh? The defense will refrain from needless shouting. Sorry. I need to seriously reconsider this vocal training thing. if Russia is the motherland and Deutschland is the fatherland, does that make what? World War or WW11? God. Now, Miss Orley, can you tell us what happened? Oh, I was so frightened. I was trembled with fear. Well, I could press you on this, but I will question first. But a defendant would never do such a thing. Well, now, I can't say I've ever heard a defense try this tactic. If possible, please refrain from embarrassing me. Still, why would anyone want to do something like this over a game of poker? Perhaps it is because the defendant has lost game? Yes! A crushing defeat of the man undefeated. It always is with men like him. Winners make sore losers. Oh, how the mighty fall. Says you, Payne. Go ahead. I believe in you and know what it is to do. Right, sir. Leave it to me. There were only 3 people in the room at the time of the murder. The victim, Shadi Smith, Mr. Wright, and if Mr. Wright isn't the killer, I've got you now, Orley. Strangling him. We know that isn't true because he was not strangled.
Objection!
Jeez. Did they make the screen shake when he does that because he shouts so loud? Oh, really? Strangled, you say? That's odd. Normal customers only choke on borscht. No, I mean, this report shows that the victim died of a blow to the head. Miss Orley, really now? Did you witness the crime? Eek! Russian sounds. Don't drop that. Why did you bring that food in anyway? You're gonna have to ask what Rafotron. Looking at the picture, it doesn't seem like he was hit. He was still wearing his hat and everything. Yet it is a fact. I messed up my voices. Yet it is a fact that he was hit, Your Honor. Here's a photo we have of the victim with his hat off during the investigation. Well, that's quite shocking, isn't it? This head certainly was hit. Quest photo or crime scene photo too. But I have seen it happen. The defendant, he lunged at victim, his neck. Snap. His brain. Kaput. Oh, really, Miss Orley? I think I've caught you in your own live this time. Justice. I admire your enthusiasm, but perhaps you should think about this one through more. What do you mean? I found a contradiction. There's one thing in her testimony that troubles me. Very well. It seems we should continue the cross-examination. There's such a thing as thinking too much. This horse is dead. Let's stop beating it. There's such a thing as thinking aloud too much too. Oh, whoops. I didn't mean to double tap there. 3 people, blah, 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 Shadi Smith, blah, 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 blah. There we go. Oh, the defendant tried to strangle him with the bottle. Well, if that was true, wouldn't there be blood on the bottle? Now that I'm thinking about it, there should be blood. Whoops. There should be blood on it. So in order to save, I need to go to G. So let me just do that. We're back to saving before I make a show of evidence. Because I'm trying to think, because in order to see... After defendant tried to strangle victim, he hit him with bottle. Present stern image. I promise I will not do that again. cerebral hemorrhaging resulting from blunt force trauma. I'll press her on it first because it's changed and see what she says. You didn't say anything about hitting before. It's just so sorry. I must have forgetting this. Yeah? Da? Where to go? Yeah. Witness, you will take greater care with your testimony. Oh, da. I'm sorry, Your Honor. And that clears up the discrepancy with the autopsy report, I believe. The defendant may strangle his victim and then changed his mind and chose a simpler, blunter means to do the job. Yes, that sums it up nicely. So he strangled him, then hit him? Something's fishy about all this. Go ahead, I know what you need to do. Blah, blah, right, sir, leave it to me. These people are here. This was done on the first level. I just noticed there's a bunch of snow inside the building. I don't know if they would do that, but if he was strangled, wouldn't he have, like, marks on his neck? Because again, yeah, you can see here that the cards are face down, so he didn't reveal that he had won yet. But this is probably not what we need to present, but I'm definitely going to remember that. His hat is already on. They took it off to take the photo. What about the other one? I mean, there's the wine there. Oh, I just saw what you said. Go to the one with Wright and Shari or Shadi. I mean, I was going there anyway, but yeah. Huh. Wait, isn't he wearing the locket that Phoenix is wearing right now? Unless they're just similar. Phoenix wears flip-flops, he's truly become a criminal. I've just noticed that. Ugh. You've changed, Phoenix. Oh, he's not wearing it. Yeah, I was just thinking, like, I just saw the comment. I was just thinking, wait, he's wearing it in this photo, but we see in the other ones that he isn't. I am going to... It's going to be one of these pictures, and I think it's either going to be this one or this one that will work. But I'll go with this one first.
Objection!
Nope. It's good to see what happens when I get it wrong. Your Honor, that statement contradicts his evidence. Huh? It does? I don't see anything contradictory. You sure about that? Objection overruled. Try to think before you make accusations, Mr. Justice. Wow, they made that more violent than I remember. That didn't go so well. What does the autopsy say? Time of death was around 2 a.m., April 17th, by a single blow to forehead. Uh, 17th, 1:45 a.m. to 2:15. Cerebral hemorrhaging resulting from blunt force trauma to the forehead. So I presented this one. To be fair, if he was hit in the head with a bottle, wouldn't his hat have fallen off?
Objection!
Nope. Rana, what do you think about the witness's statement? I'm not sure I follow you. It clearly contradicts the I thought, isn't this just a copy and paste of what Phoenix would sometimes say? You don't sound very sure, Mr. Justice. Objection overruled. I don't think that won me any points from the judge. Alright, well. Gotta keep presenting until I win.
Objection!
So none of the pictures are the one. Reveals a contradiction in that statement, Your Honor. How exactly are the evidence in the statement just now related? They aren't, are they? Not at all. Mr. Justice, please think the facts over before making accusations. I don't think that won me any points with the judge. Ah, here we go. Okay, this is where I present it. Okay.
Objection!
There we go. I knew we got it. We were just looking into the wrong area. You know, there was one curious part in her testimony, just like Mr. Gavin said. But what does it mean? Mr. Justice, would you care to explain what it is you're thinking so intensely about? Recall the testimony, Your Honor. The victim played with his hand on his locket at his neck, I believe she said. I hope you aren't about to raise an objection to the witness's grammar. No, but look at this photograph. Do you see a locket in the victim's neck? Well done, Mr. Justice. I'm impressed. I knew you'd be able to handle this. Yeah, never mind the 3 mistakes I made. But what does it mean? If we're to believe the witness's testimony as is, then the locket disappeared following the victim's death. Lockets don't just disappear, Your Honor. It's quite simple when you think about it. If the locket is gone, someone must have taken it off, no? Taken it off? Wait, you don't mean the defendant wasn't strangling the victim at all? He was taking off his locket. Wouldn't that explain it? Ah. The defendant, what do you have to say to this? Say. Yes? I just noticed this, but you have something hanging around your neck, don't you? Oh, you mean this? Yes, it's a locket with a photograph inside. A photo of my daughter. Come again? Mr. Wright, you have a daughter? We confirmed it at the time of the arrest. The picture in the locket is indeed Mr. Wright's daughter. So Mr. Wright has a locket too? Why don't I buy this? It's just a coincidence. And why does no one explain this daughter thing? I never knew about that. Like, out of character, or out of Apollo Justice, I know, but, you know, back then it was like, whoa, he has a daughter? When? Did he get together with Maya? No, unfortunately, they are still, I think, trying to tease that they may or may not get together. Well, now, if the results of this poker game led to the murder, perhaps we should hear a bit more about the outcome of the game. Well, the testimony won't really be necessary. It's clear that the defendant lost badly. Miss Orley, you will testify to the court about the game played between the victim and the defendant. Yeah, it was like, what do you fucking mean you have a daughter? Serious competition. The game began with 3,520 chips for each man. House chips come in 2 sizes, small and large. The one who was winning died was victim. For last hand, defendant play with all chips on table and lose. The moment the loss was decided, the defendant grabs the bottle from the table and... Why is she holding her ear? Someone telling her what to say or something? Indeed, looking at this picture, it does seem to be a one-sided game. As the court knows, poker was the defendant's life. Failure must have been a bitter pill to swallow. Ah, how many times have I heard those words? I done it in a fit of anger, Your Honour, and now I regret what I done. A common tale, but true. Methinks the judge watches too many old court movies. Mr. Wright said he hasn't lost in 7 years, so this testimony must be wrong. Meow. Shut up and let me press you. Are those the usual starting points? Were any special rules used? No, not special. Usual game. Usual rules. If each man began with 3,500 points, then the total would be... exactly 6? No, 7,000 points. Please, this isn't calculus. It's not even long division.
Hold it!
Are the chips in this photo all the chips that were used? Of course. Something's fishy with those chips. Should I press harder? Yeah. I'm gonna guess that she stole some, even though it's not money. Maybe you could explain a bit about these chips? Explain? What is there to explain? Poker chips are poker chips. They're not fish and chips. Not a chip off the old block. Not a motorcycle cup. Not a... Thanks. But now that I pressed her, I'd better ask something. What are these chips worth? Are they in dollars or rubles even? And yet, as I have been saying before, it was game, not gambling. Hard perhaps for capitalists to understand. 2 types of chip, 100 points. Chip and 1,000 point chips. Maya and Phoenix are kind of like Apollo and do-you-know-who. No, I don't know who. Explain. It is not money, da. Justice. Sir, don't you find her comment interesting? In more ways than one, sir. I'd have it added to her testimony myself. Well, does the defendant want the witness to add her testimony? Sure. Yes, I do think this deserves further scrutiny. Add it to the testimony. I wish I knew where I was going with this. Very well, witness, if you would be so kind. Your Honor. Oh man, they got... I remember that I could look at my evidence before I presented it, but I'm pressing the button and it's not doing it, so... I'm trying to make sure there aren't other types of chips. Reds, blacks. Yeah, those are the only colors. To be fair, these look like mints. Oh, whoops.
Hold it!
Mr. Gavin said this testimony is important. To be honest, I have no idea why. Mr. Justice, do the court a favor and think of what you want to say before raising your hand. We are not in kindergarten. Sorry, I'm fine. I'd better think of something to ask. And quick. The 2 types of chips. The small ones are 100 and the big ones are 1,000. Right? Right, of course. Ha! Don't waste our time. Is that all? Yeah. Great, Mr. Gavin made me stop her, and now I'm the one who looks dumb. Oh, Justice. Please try not to embarrass me like that. Huh? Who? Me? There's a clear contradiction in the information you have on your hands. What? It's a simple matter of calculation. Go on, try it. We're not in kindergarten after all. Calculation? Wait, I said that earlier. Let's press her on the other things first. You're telling me that Mr. Wright, undefeated for 7 whole years, was losing? It must have been most unlucky day for him. I am glad I did not take other picture of him. It would break camera, certainly. The chips, they went always to victim side of table. So you're telling us it was a one-sided game? One-sided, and...
Hold it!
Last hand. It was the largest points of any hand. The defendant's hand, it was excellent. He tried to use it to take victory from behind. It appears that both the defendant and the victim's hands are in this picture. That is truly an excellent hand, however, so is the victim's. The one with highest number always wins, so defendant loses. The victim, Mr. Smith, had a stronger hand than the defendant and crushed him. I believe that explains what occurred next. Once cards laid down on table, it happened. But you said he strangled him first. That's why you lie.
Hold it!
And what happened next? Even to think of it now, I shake and tremble. I did not believe such thing would happen. What such thing? Please, you must believe. I had no idea. How could such thing could occur? What such thing? Niet. The defendant had been hitting victim. I saw it all happen right before me. I saw a bottle coming down, the victim's head. Decisive, isn't it, Your Honor? So then why didn't she call the police? Why was Phoenix the one that did it, if that's the case? My witness saw the very moment of the crime. Remember, your first goal is to gather information. Yes, sir. Look out, contradiction, here comes justice. One card chip. The one who was victim died was the victim. On the last hand, defendant play with all chips on table and lose. Moment loss was decided, defendant grabs bottle from table. Let's start from the beginning. Game began with 3,500 points in chips for each man. One kind of chip is worth 100, other kind is worth 1,000. 2 kinds in all. The one who was victim. One who's winning was victim. For last hand, defendant play with all those chips on table and lose. But we know that's not true. Right? As you can see here, he still has chips. So he didn't place all of his chips on. We can also see here that he didn't place all his chips. I want to save to be sure here. Good old saving. I'll present this.
Objection!
Nope. What do you think about the witness's statement? I'm not sure I follow you. It clearly contradicts the I thought. You don't sound very sure, Mr. Wright. Justice. Objection overruled. Call him Mr. Wright. I don't think that won me any points. The chips have to add up to 7,000. Yeah. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wait, so there's 600 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that's 1,000. That's 10,000. I can't count. Wait. What? Big ones are worth 1,000. 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10,000. Wait, what? That's more. And the small ones are worth 100, so that would be 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600. So that would be 10,600 chips. Well, I must be doing the wrong one then.
Objection!
There we go. You sure it was the victim who won? Absolutely sure. It seems our new attorney is a bit confused. A glance at the picture is enough to tell you who won if you're not kindergarten. Just for safety's sake, could you explain the problem to the court? Of course, Your Honor. In this photo, I see small chips and I see large chips. Tell me, which were worth 1,000 points? Why, the big ones, of course, duh! Oh, I thought so too. But then the totals don't add up. The totals? The total rolls? Let's review what the witness told us. Each man started with 3,500 points in chips, and the combined total value of the chips was 7,000 points. Yes, if my calculations are correct. Let's see. 3 plus 1, carry the 5. They are, Your Honor. Now, look at this photo. That allegedly shows the chips. If the big chips are worth 1,000 points and the small chips are worth 100, and you add them up, how much is it? Do it yourself. You aren't in kindergarten, are you? Why do they keep bringing up kindergarten? 10,600 points. The chips don't add up. This is clearly contradicts this witness's testimony. Hey, it's the first time he had that scene now. But why? How could this be? Exactly, Justice. And now that you know the what, you must determine the why. Right, there's only one possible way to explain this contradiction. Starting points were wrong, chip count was wrong, both were right. It's either, I think it's going to be starting points were wrong, but it might also be chip count, because if they do have more chips, then it might be, that might also include, like, actually the small ones are 1,000 and the big ones are 100. But I'll go with starting points are wrong. This calculation makes the answer clear. If the total combined points on the table was 10,600, then each man started that night with 5,300 points. 5,300. That's a rather half-baked score at which to start a game. Justice, would different starting points really change anything? It seems the defense objections were even more half-baked than the score. Uh-oh. Time to head back in the kitchen. Right, there's only one explanation. I guess I'll go with this one then. I'm sorry, I'm just catching up on chat. If he has to be done in Phoenix and OG Iris. 100% right and Iris are the Go Canon couple. Yeah. I don't think she shows up again though, which sucks. The odd thing here is the number of chips, right, Mr. Cameron? Or why are you asking me? Just in case? Justice, it is your case I'm concerned about. If you're wondering about the chips, just look at the photograph. It's all there. Even our judge with the filing eyesight could count them. That's not the only thing failing the judge. Let me ask you again. Right, I guess both are right then. I guess I was stupid. Each man began the game with 3,500 points. If all the chips are indeed shown in this photograph, then there can only be one answer. Well, what is it? The value of the chips was the other way around. What? Want to know what I think? The small chips were worth 1,000 points, not the big ones. Madness, utter madness. Show me that photograph of the chips again. There are 6 small chips, 10 large chips. Why, that doesn't make 7,000 points when you add them up. Excellent work, Justice. It's almost as though you figured it out by yourself. Well, I'm just glad I was the one who said it. But wait! The value of the chips may be different, but that changes nothing. Indeed, the victim did have the larger number of chips still. Exactly. If the small chips are 1,000 points and the large chips are 100, let's do a little math. Add up the points for each side of the table. victim, Mr. Smith, had 2,900 points and the defendant had 4,100 points. Well now, it seems that Mr. Wright was winning that night after all. That's impossible! My client had even less reason to kill the victim. After all, he was winning! Yeah! Now, Miss Orley, you must have known of the true value of the chips. Since you were there at the scene of the crime, weren't you? Order, order! It appears our defendant has lost his motive. And Mr. Wright's supposed defeat never happened. We must now ask ourselves whether we can trust the witness's testimony at all. Excuse me? What is it, Miss Orley? I did not want to be saying this, but actually, you see, what is it, Orley? What do you see? In the last hand, there was cheat. A cheat? You don't mean a trick? Wait, or do you mean a scam? They're all the same thing. I think it's pronounced O'Reilly rather than Orly. Oh. Oh, that makes more sense, yeah. I like Orly, though. Yeah. Yes, there was cheating last hand. This is why game ends with chips as they are. Great, just great. First we have lying, now cheating. Well, this case certainly has taken a turn. For the interesting. Witness, you will please testify to the court. Tell us about this cheating in the final hand. Is the sound going to be picked up now? Final hand. The last hand. Both men have full house. There is 4 of each card in deck, from ace to king. If you look at both men's hands, cheat is more obvious. In the next moment, game becomes argument. The defendant's trick was exposed. He took hot bottle in his hand. Poor Mr. Smith. Miss Orley. Why did you not tell the court about this from the beginning? Don't I smell a cover up here? Well, folks, it's time to throw back the covers. I pronounced Godot as Godot for years rather than Godot. True, yeah. A lot of people say things a lot differently. I'm going to go with my version. A full house is a very high-scoring hand. Not easy to make in my experience. That alone is enough to suspect less than scrupulous tactics. Mr. Gavin? What's a full house? Lawyers these days, you don't know your poker. Can't say this bodes well for your case or career. Because you don't know poker, apparently you're going to get fired. What is this, some kind of secret court poker ring? Justice. You know the terms 1 pair, 2 pair, and 3 of a kind, yes? Yeah, no problem. 2 cards with the same number makes a pair, and 3 makes a 3 of a kind. Good. And now picture a hand with 1 pair and 1 3 of a kind. That's a full house. Oh, that's a full house. Doesn't sound very easy to make, does it? You can see each player's hand in this photo. Wow, they both have full houses. We forget that there's an easy way to make a full house and go undefeated for 7 years. I cheated. The defense may cross-examine a witness. If he did cheat in the last hand, there still leaves one important question. Mr. Wright lost that hand. Whoever heard of a professional conman losing when they cheat? I mean, it happens more often than you'd think. People believed me when I said I learned how to play poker from a court-based video game. Well, I learned how to play poker because of Red Dead Redemption, like the original one on Xbox 360. I played that so much. It was because of that game I learned how to play poker. or Texas Hold'em or whatever. Maybe blackjack too. Final hand.
Hold it!
Just how hard is it to make a full house anyway? It is quite hard, duh? It is making a pair and a three of a kind at the same time. I guess that's right. Very difficult to be sure. You take my word as the poker head of the courtroom number 3. Very difficult, duh, but this is not impossible. Okay, full house, hard. This line of questioning, a waste of time.
Hold it!
4 of each card, you say? Ah, there is 1 spade, 1 diamond, 1 heart, and 1 club for each card. It is a very interesting fact that this number 4 comes from number of seasons. Huh, you don't say. And did you know that the cards are numbered 1 to 13? Add all the cards in the deck, you get 364 a year. Huh, you don't say. Isn't that 1 day short? That's why each card has 2 jokers. They say the second joker stands for the leap year. Thus you have a perfect representation of the year. All in a deck of cards. Huh, you don't say. We're going to be in the courtroom for a year if it keeps going on like this. Texas Hold'em is poker, I think, but it's just with 2 cards rather than 4. Yeah.
Hold it!
How was it clear? Ah, well, the defendant, he played a 5th ace. A 5th ace? I still remember both hands very well. Mr. Smith's hand was 3 aces. Wait, no it's not, it was 3 kings. Mr. Wright's 2 aces. Obviously, cheating was afoot, or perhaps I should say, a hand. Your Honor, perhaps this could be added to the testimony without Mr. Payne's joke. Very well, the defense will add this to the testimony. Bless me. Ow! I hurt my neck. Ah. You ever just do a sneeze that, like, pulls your neck and your shoulder? It wasn't that bad, but still. I heard it click. Thank you. Mr. Smith's hand was 3 aces and Mr. Wright's 2. It was a 5 aces all. Well, we know this is wrong, so I'm just going to immediately present. As you can see it clearly here, he has 3 kings, 2 aces, and he has 2 aces. So they have the equal amount of cards.
Objection!
It appears the witness is mistaken. Mistaken? But my name... Look, this piece of evidence clearly contradicts with what you just said in the court testimony. That's the photo of the chips, is it not? Justice, or perhaps you ought to explain your point in a way that the judge can comprehend. In other words, use your finger to point out your point. Yes, please point to the contradiction in this photo. What particular point contradicts with the witness's testimony? This one. Oh god, I can't double click. I have to actually press the button.
Take that!
Miss Orley, in your testimony, you made the following claim. Mr. Smith's hand has 3 aces. But as you can clearly see, the victim's hand only held 2. Well, maybe the witness was to be confused. Perhaps it was the defendant's hand that held the 3rd ace in question.
Objection!
Take another look at the evidence. As you can see, the defendant has also 2 aces in his hands. Where's the 5th ace? I see cheating all right, and it's going on right here in this courtroom. 2 aces in each player's hands does make 4 aces total. Hardly proof of cheating. Wait, please. It is true. I have seen it. The 5th ace. There was cheating, I swear to you. That's odd. She must be lying, yet she's the most sincere I've seen her all day. You're right to trust your instincts. Mr. Gavin? Who knows what lies in store for us for the trial ahead? Your Honor, if I may, I have a suggestion. What might that be, Mr. Gavin? If you don't mind, perhaps we might examine the actual cards. The cards? Mr. Payne. Yes? The player's hand that night was set aside as evidence, were they not? The defense would like to request the cards be shown to the court. Very well, the prosecution will submit this evidence. Which will you examine? The victim's cards or the defendant's cards? If these cards are going to prove anything, or don't prove cheating was going on, nothing will. Now, which of these is more suspicious? Don't mind me. Question, for the next game, do you think they should go back to 3D models or go back to using sprites like these? I think they're pretty much stuck sticking with 3D models. I do miss the sprites, but I think the 3D is probably going to be the way they go forward, and I'm fine with that, to be honest. I really like how they looked in the Dual Destinies, at least from what I recall. So, anyway, I think right now, because of the stuff we just presented, it's got to be the victim's hand, so let's try it. Although it might be the defendant's. I'll go with the victim's hand. It was the victim's hand that changed over the course of the witness's testimony. The defense's request time to examine Mr. Smith's cards. Very well. Mr. Payne, if you would. Very well. Proceed, evidence, victim's hand. Well, time's a wasting. Get to it, Justice. Okay. Oh. Yeah, I kind of figured. Only one of the cards is a blue back. I'm much more of a red guy myself, but blue is so not red, you know? Well, there you go then. One of these cards is actually from the blue deck, rather than the red one. Which doesn't make sense, because they said they were using the blue cards. Right? Yeah, they were using the blue cards. So why did he have all red cards? He was cheating. Yes, sir. I've already done it. I've already done it. I've already done it, game. Okay. When examining evidence, be sure to view it from all sides and angles. Try using up, down, left, right, A, B, Y to turn it everything which way, and B and M to zoom in and out. That should give you a better perspective on the case. Okay, let's do this. I guess I have to do this again. The card backs are red. For some reason, I thought they were using blue cards in that final hand. Didn't you, Mr. Gavin? Huh? Oh, which was it now? Annoyingly, I can't move the mouse. Well, has the defense found anything of relevance? I think I found out nothing. Perhaps you best examine the defendant's cards before leaping to any conclusions. Or maybe you'd rather examine these cards one more time. Examine the other hand. Guess I'll examine Mr. Wright's cards. Your Honor, the defense... I don't know why I'm giving him an accent now. Your Honor, the defense requests time to examine Mr. Wright's hand. Granted, but make it quick, Mr. Justice. Don't worry, Justice is always swift. Yeah, all of these are red. The card backs are red. For some reason, I thought they were using blue. Huh? Oh, which is it now? So they were using the red cards while they were playing with the blue deck. I guess that means that's kind of how they would cheat at this. Has the defense found anything they would like to share with the court? Yes, I do, Your Honor. Not unless you count out of confusion. Perhaps you'd best examine the victim's cards next. Of course, you can always give these cards another look. Well, do I examine the other hand of the cards? Do I have to find a specific thing? Because I've already found it. Victim's cards again. Blah, 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 blah. Right. I'm going to click and you're going to let me move it. Why can't I move the bloody thing? Is there writing on it? I missed that if there was. Why can't I move the hand? We spin. This is bad. Why? I am trying, really trying. There we go. It's finally moving. Okay, so I was... Because the thing is like this. In order to move it, I have to click the location where I want it to go. Whereas previously, literally a few seconds ago, I had to click and drag to move this. But now when I click and drag, it moves the cards. So it keeps changing on me. Okay. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, it does it now. What? There we go. Finally. Your Honor, look at this. One of the victim's cards. The back is different color. Eh? Eh? That's possible. But I put that card in the right hand. Eh? Is that Mr. Orley? Or Miss Orley? No, yet. I merely said, I have... Your Honor? Mr. Gavin, yes? Tell me, what is the easiest way to cheat at poker? To cheat? I'll tell you. One merely needs a friend, a comrade, shall we say. The dealer. Wait, so you mean... This witness, Miss Orley, she's the cheater, a professional, I'd wager. Yeah! Order! Focus, Justice. Time to take advantage of her. I mean, her mistake. Jesus, Justice. Phrasing. Be glad that you said that in your mind. People would... Yeah. Your Honor. Please record the testimony we just heard. That's impossible. I am Russian, but I put the card in the right hand. Ergo, Miss Olga Orley conspired to cheat, not with my client, but with the victim, Miss Shadi Smith. Or Mr. Oh! That was a weird noise. Not only did she cheat, she cheated poorly. Oh, I like this song. Therefore, it's not hard to imagine an altercation between her and the victim. What? But you don't mean the defense isn't accusing the witness, Miss Olga Orley, are you? Time for justice! There were 3 people in the room at the time of the incident. And if Mr. Wright isn't guilty, that means... I am guilty. The defense accuses the witness, Miss Olga Orley, of murder. Oh, she got lucky there. That could have landed on her. Oh, man, the music ended too soon. Oh. Now, I will say that I still really like the original first game's song for that kind of scene. Cornered and all that. Or Fatal Pursuit. But this one is definitely really good. Like, I think it's really good. It's a close second. Mr. Payne, where is your witness, Miss Olga Orley? It appears she has lost consciousness, Your Honor. Mr. Justice? Your Honor, it seems you presented a new possibility to the court. Or suggesting connection between the witness and the victim, Mr. Smith. And that means this court cannot pronounce a verdict for the defendant this time. What? I did it. I held out. I see no point in prolonging the trial this day. The prosecution will need to make further inquiries.
Objection!
Wait. That was me! Or Phoenix! Whatever. Mr. Wright? You can't enter the trail here, Your Honor. Not yet. What nonsense is the defense spewing now? Think. One of the cards had a different colored back. Don't you wonder what that means? What are you doing, Mr. Wright? Raising objections right when you're about to get off the hook. Ridiculous. They used his new voice. Yeah, they did. Mr. Payne, you of all people should know, Mr. Wright has a talent for the ridiculous. His name isn't Wright anymore. It's Mr. Ridiculous. Perhaps we should get to the bottom of things. Let's clear up the facts about the game that fateful night. As was said before, he alternated between 2 decks of cards that night. That was said before. The 2 decks at the club have different coloured backs, blue and red. 1 colour per deck. Why use different coloured backs? If we use the same colour, the 2 decks might get mixed. You use different colours and they still got mixed up. We used the red deck for the last game. I see, but that's odd. For some reason, I have this impression that you were using the blue cards. Yeah, me too. I'm sure someone said something about blue cards. Whatever. In the end, one card in the wrong colour got in the mix. Which means there was cheating. Yes, a card slipped into the deck would seem to indicate cheating. Yet, this card raises 2 serious questions. Apollo? Yes? Let's consider the first question, shall we? Think, in the last game, when was the card swapped? When? There are 3 broad possibilities here. It could have been swapped before the murder, during the murder, or after the murder. Well, yeah! Thanks for the nose bulletin, Mr. Wright. Of course it was swapped. Oh? It might be as simple as you think, Mr. Payne, or it might not be. You've gotten so cool, Phoenix. What happened? Like, it's funny, when you play as the guy, he's like, I don't know how to figure anything out. I just throw things out until they stick. And this, he's like, no, I know everything. I'm extremely smart all of a sudden. I'd like to hear what Apollo thinks first. When do you think the cards were swapped? When was the card swapped into the deck? After the murder, I think. Perhaps it happened after the murder? What's that? Ridiculous? What's the point of cheating after the hands have been shown? That's silly.
Objection!
Yes, but tell me, how do you swap cards during the game? It'll take silly over impossible. Take it from me, son. There's a lot of silly in this world, but very little impossible. Oh? Even when the backs of the cards are different colours? If you pulled that during the game, you'd be caught in no time. Quite true. That would mean that the blue card in question was swapped after the hands were shown. Again, Hobo Wright is superior. Yeah. And I'm disappointed they didn't keep him as a hobo in D&D. Yeah. I like that he's able to come back as a character later, but this version of him is really cool. Was swapped after the hands were shown after the murder. Okay, this is going past silly and straight on to crazy. I ask again, what's the point of cheating after the game's over? Who would do that? Who indeed? That's one of the mysteries before us. There's another? Yes, a simple yet decisive question must be asked. Who swapped the red card for a blue card? Who? The game ends, the murder is done, the victim is dead. Only 2 remain in the room, alive that is. The defendant Phoenix Wright and our witness, Olga Orley. Okay, so who was it that swapped the red card for the blue? I'm just going to go with this first. Why, it must have been Olga Orley who swapped the cards. She was trying to cover up evidence of the cheating. That does make some sense. Sorry, but there's a problem with that explanation. Huh? Swap cards was from the wrong deck. Yes, a blue card was stuck into the red hand. Mixing a card from the wrong deck when the backs are different colors. Remember that you're talking about Olga Orley. She was the dealer. Do you really think she would make such a novice mistake? Actually, I have trouble imagining even the judge making that mistake. Give it a little more thought, Apollo. Right. Okay, so who was it that swapped the red card for the blue? I'm going to say Phoenix Wright, but it's probably going to be the third one. The one who swapped the cards was Mr. Wright. It was you, wasn't it? And why would I do such a thing? Well, because, maybe you were trying to hide the fact that you cheated? That would make sense, but the swap card was on the victim's hands. Oh. Sorry. I'm a nice guy, but I'm not that nice. Come to think of it, he would lack a motive for helping his opponent to win. So, who was it? Yeah. I know it was the third one, but I just wanted to go through, like, each one just to see what would happen. Because now that I knew that this one didn't make me lose any points, I was like, okay, well, I'll just do all of them then. The one who swapped the cards wasn't right, of course. And, well, it doesn't seem like it could have been Olga Orley either. What are you suggesting? That's hardly a logical conclusion, I'll admit. As the defense, I think it only makes sense for you to name Miss Orley at this point. Yes, I know. But she was the one who dealt the cards, right? I just can't believe she would make this mistake of swapping the wrong color card. And if the card was swapped during the game, it would be obvious. Something you'd like to share with the court, Mr. Wright? Oh, my apologies, Your Honor. It was just thinking about how much fun all of this is. Fun? How about confusing? I have no idea what the defense is claiming, Your Honor. If the one who swapped the card wasn't the defendant and it wasn't Mr. Orley, then who was it? Yeah, well, that is the question, isn't it? Precisely. Huh? I believe we're about to see this case take a new direction. A new direction? We'll find that indeed after the murder. Someone swapped one of the cards in the victim's hand. And that someone made two critical mistakes. I'm sure you're going to tell us the first was swapping the wrong color card. Because the one who did the swap didn't know two colors of cards were being used. One thing I didn't notice until now is how deep eyes are in this game. The other mistake was the number of his card. Yeah, because his hat is like blocking stuff, but the fact that he's got shadows over his eyes mean that his eyes are sunken into his face more than I thought. Right, the person replaced the fifth ace with a king. I'm sure whoever swapped it wasn't expecting there to be a fifth ace after all. All they knew was that the game had been won with a full house. So they picked up a king from the table and swapped it in. But there's one problem. According to our case records, this person doesn't exist. True, not until now, but you have to admit the possibility of a fourth person. Though it's more than a possibility, there was someone else there the night of the scene of the crime. What? Or is it just the shadows? It is the shadows. It's just that the way that the beanie is, you don't expect it to create that much shadows. And the only reason it would be that if his eyes are further back behind his brow than what I thought or what you would think. I believe the joke. I take offense to that, Christoph. I believe the judge spoke truthfully earlier. You do make trials ridiculous, Mr. Wright. It's back. It could be bags too. This trial has proceeded on one central assumption, namely that at the time of the incident, there was only 3 people in that room. I believe this new evidence, shall we say, overturns that assumption. The problem is that you chose to conceal this information from the court. I suppose that is a problem, yes. Court is adjourned for a brief recess. Mr. Gavin, I'll see you in my chambers during this recess. For some reason. Certainly, Your Honor. Very well. The child will return in 20 minutes. Woo! This is a lot longer than I remember it being. Although I might be just remembering it and confusing it for the first case of the first game, which was a lot shorter. 11:52. That was only an hour and 52 minutes? That was quite unexpected, Mr. Wright. Who suddenly claimed there was another person at the scene of the crime like that? I must ask, is it the truth? Well now, I'd think you would know the answer to that. Being mysterious, are we? Sadly, I have no time for mysteries. I don't like the way that his glasses, like, cloud over to not show his eyes, because it makes it look like his glasses become his skin. I'd only ask that you'd leave the defending to your defense in the future. Otherwise, I cannot guarantee the outcome. I see you haven't mellowed out one bit, Christoph. And also you're threatening me, your defendant. Justice? Yes, sir? The judge has summoned me to his chamber, so carry on without me. You did well, Apollo. Can I ask you something? Sure. That locket you wear, is that really yours, Mr. Wright? Ah, you're wondering about the victim's disappearing locket? Here, you can take a look at it. That's a picture of my daughter in there. Look at the baby! And she's wearing pink. Well, Wright was talking to someone on the phone. I wonder who that was. Guess we'll find out. I'm just surprised to hear you had a daughter. Most people are. Perhaps you'll meet her one of these days. Yeah. One more question. The one who cheated that night, was it you? What do you think? Huh? You know what happened 7 years ago, what I did. It's not unreasonable for you to think that I might cheat. I never honest, but it is odd how he managed to go undefeated for 7 whole years. Want to know something? There's only one game where you can be dealt bad cards all night and still win. Poker. Eh? You see, poker is all about reading your opponent. In that way, it's a lot like a court case. Poker is like trial law. Figure out what your opponent is thinking and you win. Well, yeah, but that's harder than it sounds. I think not. Try as they might to conceal it, everyone reveals their true thoughts in the end. Their body language can become a valuable source of information. You're kidding. That witness, for instance, Mr. Orley. She would touch the back of her neck during certain parts of her testimony. Did you notice? No. I did! I'm better than Apollo. Put me in the lawyer chair. Come on, who noticed that? Words, habits, twitches, it's all information for the reading. That's the secret to winning, Apollo. Someone taught me, and now I pass the secret on to you. But I'm not worthy. I mean, there's no way I'll pick up on these signals. No, you can do it. Huh? You just don't know it yet. What's he talking about? But you will, soon. Ah, almost forgot. One more thing. About this case. You should know, I haven't told the truth to anyone yet. What? I knew it. I have my reasons, of course. All shall be revealed. And Apollo, I need you to be there, defending me. I need your power. My, power? I had no idea my Court of Steel were that special. It's time. The real trial begins now. Do your best. You played before. You played already. Shut up. Hey, like I said, I don't remember a majority of what happens in this game. So I'm relearning things as I go along. Let me have this, okay? To be continued. Bam, 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 bam. Okay. How long have we been going? Still got 4 minutes. this might be a good spot to stop so we can pick it up next time, but I'm not sure. How much is left of this case? Because if I can, like, push it to finish, I might do that. Like, if it's another hour or so, then I will have to stop. But if it's, like, 30 minutes or maybe less, then I can do it. I think you're roughly a third of the way through, or at least half. Yeah, because I usually try to stream within a 2-hour mark, and we're getting to the 2-hour mark. It's literally just 4 minutes away. But if this thing is like just 10 minutes or 20 minutes left, then I can do it. If it's more than an hour, I will have to stop. At most half. Yeah, because that was a full 2 hours. If it's going to take 45 minutes, yeah, at that point that's too much. I'll have to stop there. And we can pick this up on Thursday. No, not Thursday. Yeah, Thursday. I thought it was Wednesday for some reason. But yes, we'll have to pick it up next time. Sorry about that, but it actually gives me the option. Cool. At least another 2 hours. Yeah, definitely gonna have to stop then. But thank you all for joining me today. I'm having fun. Like, I knew I was gonna have fun anyway, but let me just get out of this first. I knew I was going to have fun, but the fact that I'm having as much fun as I am in just like the first case in the first half of it is already really good. Again, I don't remember a majority of this game, so I'm re-experiencing everything. And then when it happens, I'm like, oh yeah, this did happen. You know, stuff like that and things like this. But it is fun. I have to get used to doing the voices again. Hopefully there was enough discernment between like Apollo and Phoenix, right? Because I try to do them with the same voice, which is just my voice. But I try to make Apollo sound more, you know, amateurish and, you know, nervous or whatever, geeky. But hopefully they've all been fine. As I said, we'll pick this up on Thursday, where we will be finishing off the other half of this, and he said mission, case. I got to practice my chords. Yeah, I got to get my own chords of steel. But yeah, we'll pick this up on Thursday. We'll be finishing off the other half of this case and then possibly starting the next one, depending on how quick that goes. So yeah, thank you all for joining the mates today. Hope everyone enjoyed. I know I did. I know some of you did, going by some of what everyone talking so much. So I appreciate you guys being here. It was a lot of fun, especially when I get people that are able to interact with me. It makes the game a lot of fun to know that people are enjoying it. So, but yeah, as usual, if you have not already, like, follow, subscribe, do that bell notifications so you know when I next stream. Customize it if you want to know about specific things that come up, if it's just streams you want or whatever. And if you want to help support me directly, there's links to Patreon and tips. They do help a lot. Please, as I always say, only do it if you are able to. Do not force yourself to pay like a tip or support on Patreon and then you run out of money and you have to like live on the streets or something. I don't want that. But if you can do it, then great. I'd appreciate it. And if you do become a patron, you get your name added to the Patreon list, where I give you a shout out of every stream, like I do with Hiro Ruokuni. And I thank you for the continued support, and I greatly appreciate you. And I headbutt you, and I snap your neck, and then I bury you in a field somewhere. No, I don't know. I went dark fast. I didn't mean to go that way, but whatever. But yes, we shall stop there for today. We shall pick this up Thursday. I'll be back tomorrow with God of War. So yeah, look forward to that. Until next time, thanks for joining, and have a nice rest of the day. Bye, Sean. Bye, Rafatron. Thanks for joining. Y'all take care. Bye.